28-year-old creative arts teacher from Bishop Lavis High School in Cape Town has had social media buzzing with his concept of incorporating dancing into his learners' academic day. Florance Vermeulen teaches young learners in a community on the Cape Flats that is notorious for gang violence and social ills. He says dancing helps with productivity and has a positive influence in his learners' lives and helps those who struggle to express themselves verbally. Joining us now is the teacher who dances up a storm in the classroom, Florance Vermeulen. Good to have you, Florance. Thanks so much for being our guest.
Good morning, Lance. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
So talk to us about dancing in the class and how you believe that this actually helps your learners concentrate better during the academic day.
I know that learners have a difficulty in expressing themselves, and there are a lot of social ills that they are conquering or facing on their daily lives, especially looking at the Cape Flats. And all they need is someone that can awake them and make them alert, alive, and enthusiastic about life and about the academics. So I use dance as a form where learners can express themselves and just give meaning to who they are and concentrate and be productive throughout the day. So that is my method. It's not to teach them any form of dance itself, but to merely use dance as a way to give therapy to their social ills and to things that they cannot express themselves to as youngsters.
How long have you been doing this for?
Well, I've been part of community, celebrating my 10th year, part in various productions or community development projects, and I've been doing this for quite a number of years, 10 years now to be exact. It all started in 2010. Where I've been involved in different community development programs using emotion to express, to educate, and most importantly, for children to awaken themselves.
I love this. I mean, I'm watching a video clip from one of your classes, and I just think it's fantastic. I mean, I think of sitting at school in those days and sometimes trying very hard to keep my eyes open, wanting to fall asleep in some of those subjects. But I don't foresee that you lose anybody's interests doing what you're doing here. So talk to me from the concept. When did you come about this idea that I'm going to make my class stand up and start dancing?
Well, dancing or art has always been a part of who I am as an individual. And as I grew up, I was very much of an introvert back in high school and even primary school. Art was my scapegoat to deal with a lot of things in my life. And dancing itself has a way and allowed me as a person to express. So therefore, I thought, why not incorporating it, knowing that even in South Africa, in our education system, art is not seen as bigger, but has such a vibe in a child's life. Because before a child speaks, they move. And dancing is about movement. Isn't it all resonated all? So that is when it started, and I just grew more passionate about it. And again, it's not to teach any dance form, but it's merely using movement for learners to express themselves and just allow that to assist them in life and guide them through different emotions and express themselves.
Yeah. Has anyone, I mean, I suppose it's a shot in the dark of asking a question, but from you doing this, did anyone find a love for dancing that they've actually just carried on doing it?
Yes. I've started at a primary school in Cape Town, the Valfried Primary. And before I went to Bishop Lavis, I'm now exactly a year at Bishop Lavis, but most of my learning with me, besides just dancing, but they pursue their art niche within society. I'm speaking from DJs, artists, dancers, singers, they just allow, and acting as well. Itself. So learners who came through me allowed themselves to pursue in that particular art. But again, it's not to allow them to pursue any art industry, but it's merely, again, as always, to express themselves. And when they express themselves, they get competent in having self-confidence, and having the self-confidence within themselves, allowing their bodies to move and encounter who they are, they can accomplish a lot of flourish. They can bloom in other avenues of life as well, not just in the artist industry itself.
I mean, because, you know, the reality is that Bishop Lavis Township is notorious on the Cape Flats for its social ills, for its gang-related violence. I imagine, and perhaps you can tell us more, but that the dancing actually helps these learners to cope with some of these issues. And how does it actually help them cope?
Leanne, one thing that I can say, it is a self-confidence booster to them. Because I don't see myself as a teacher. I've discovered now I'm more of an awakener, like the Robert Forrest American actor said. So because I'm not immune to what these learners are going through, I've gone through most of these challenges, a lot of social ills, a lot of other circumstances that prohibited me to reach my full potential. So what it does to them is it boosts their self-confidence and allow them to become competent within their other aspects of life. And that is, for me, phenomenal at the end of the day. And you can see it. The fact that they can boost their self-confidence, allow them to do other things more than what they think they were capable of, and even to rise out of their circumstances and not be dogmatized, because especially looking at the Cape Flats, people say, oh, it's gangsterism, but there are children who's got dreams, who's got ambition, who wants to be more than that. And I, as an individual, the awakener or the teacher, I want to allow them to wake up and say, smell the coffee. The world is your oyster. Go for it. Yeah. Do not let this limit you at the end of the day. And you can see that within people or in the children I'm working with, that they always come back. I just received yesterday a message from one of the mothers, learners whom I've mentored 10 years ago. And she said she's so thankful for my involvement because he just started his own company. And I'm just like, what? But because I believed in him, I saw the potential, and I guided him through the process of allowing him to be himself and not what I want him to. So, yeah, sorry I can talk very much a lot.
I'm loving it.
I'm passionate about that. A lot to share. I'll just keep it short for now.
I mean, I think it's absolutely fantastic because it is, you know, it's something that influences the youth for the rest of their lives. You know, it's a moment like that that can change the trajectory of anybody's life. And, you know, it's also that feeling of wanting to get up, of wanting to go to school, of making it exciting for children and for the youth to understand that there's a place for them and somewhere they belong. You know, living in the area you live in, teaching in the area that you live in, what do you think is the most important thing right now that the youth need? What is that number one thing that you feel the youth of today need to inspire and to change their lives?
Leanne, my philosophy is always hope. Children need hope. They want someone to believe in them because that is what people did to me. When I didn't see my potential, I had people within my community, my church, my community leaders, my teachers. They believed in me and they saw the potential in me. So all they need an awakener. They don't need a teacher. They need an awakener. They want someone to tell them, step up. And this is what I always tell my learners, step up. Stop your excuses. Take action. Execute your strengths with perseverance, unwavering faith, and put your trust in yourself. And I'm going to keep it a bit local. Hashtag CPT, where we say in the Western Cape, Dala what you must. In other words, do what you need to do for the betterment of yourself. And that ignites hope within people. Not within people, but within the children that we need to work with. So again, children need an awakener. They need someone to give them hope and allow them to reach their full potential and not be dogmatized by my superior of how I want them to be, but merely be guided what they want to be and shape them through that.
Beautiful message to end this interview on. Thank you so much for joining us here on the program. Florance Vermeulen, who is a creative arts teacher from Bishop Lavis High School, who has given us some insight into how to bring some positive change into the academic day of learners, and all of this through dancing. Let's go to the break watching this dance one more time.